ABC Big 2 News.
Developing now, a Texas DPS Special Agent Anthony Salas was killed in the line of duty. He died in the vehicle accident conducting tactical operations near the U.S.-Mexico border. In McCurvick County, the 37-year-old was part of a special operations group working closely with Border Patrol. Salas was taken to the hospital in San Antonio, where he later died, surrounded by loved ones.
Watch out for those crazy drivers out there.
Keep it between the white lines. Stay out of the ditches.
New at 10, winter safety on local roads. Cold weather is creating some tough conditions out there. And tonight, drivers we spoke with say slow down and heads up. They are sharing a little bit about what they are seeing on the roads tonight. Good evening, I'm Rob Toot.
And I'm Stephanie Martinez. Local drivers are also talking about what they do to stay prepared as temperatures drop.
I've seen a few people that are out of their minds here recently, but for the most part, they're all right.
So far, things have been all right out on the roads in Odessa. And for the most part, drivers are doing their part to watch out for others.
It's a safety hazard being out there, so you really just got to drive slow, keep your distance from the other cars and trucks in front of you.
But with the inclement weather and colder temperatures than we've seen in months, well, the best thing to do for drivers is to stay ready for the unexpected. Accidents are on their minds.
Inexperienced drivers are a lot of the ones that you see with the accidents because they're just bolting down the road, not paying attention on Facebook and all that.
Ron Hartung just came from Iowa. He says the wind chill made for minus 13-degree weather.
Where are you heading to?
El Paso. Drop this one, pick one up on to Chandler, Arizona.
For these big rigs, we know they can't stop on a dime. Ron's concern isn't just for himself, but for other drivers, especially the ones in much, much smaller cars who want to zoom around the 18-wheelers.
You can't come from behind. Big truck, come in front, jump in front, and then get off the exit. Why? You were just behind me. We went a half a mile. You had to pass me, get in front of me, then get off. That don't make sense, but they do it.
While road safety is all about being cautious in the driver's seat, a lot of this safety can start way before drivers turn their cars on. Low temperatures mean low air pressure in your tires, and low air pressure in your tires could mean dangerous driving conditions. You can also check your wiper blades, clean your windshield, and test your car battery.
So really paying attention to the weather forecast, understanding what those conditions might be.
Josh Zuber is with the AAA of Texas.
Specifically winter weather, you want to make sure that you've got gloves, you've got extra warm clothing, hats, blankets.
He also recommends having an emergency winter preparedness kit. Things like a first aid kit, tools for your car, even flares or reflective triangles if you break down on the shoulder.
Drive slow, take your time. You're not in any hurry. Your life is worth more than saving a few minutes.
Now, the AAA also recommends if you're going on a road trip, tell your loved ones or trusted friends about where you are going, your route, and when you expect to arrive. That way, they can check up on you if there are any issues.
The weather is getting colder and layers of clothing are getting thicker. The exposed skin can have an effect on your health.
Our Izzy Post spoke to health specialists tonight on how to avoid frostbite.
Cold weather is sticking around and doctors are warning of increased frostbite risk. The cold temperatures can cause damage to the skin in minutes. Dr. Sarah Hayek at Raleigh General Hospital says in temperatures like these, all exposed skin should be protected in layers, especially when it comes to little ones.
They do not have the same ability to keep themselves warm. They can't shiver and keep themselves warm like we can. They need to be wrapped up, preferably kept indoors as much as possible. If they do go outside, make sure they have lots of layers on.
And Dr. Hayek adds when putting on that outermost coat layer, it should be thick and downy, made of a waterproof material. At the ski barn in Raleigh County, customers are flooding the store looking for mid-level layers to keep themselves warm. Manager Morgan Long says there are some fabrics you should watch out for when layering up.
Definitely don't want to be in cotton for sure. You want to have some type of like a poly mix. And cotton will actually keep you wet and it'll get you colder.
When coming inside after being out in the cold, both Long and Dr. Hayek say you should check your skin over to look for certain warning signs.
You want to look for changes in the skin color. If it's getting particularly more pale than it was previously, doesn't have a nice pink tone to it, or it really gets cold and painful, you want to make sure that you're getting inside, seek shelter, and warm yourself back up.
Now, your Big 2 forecast first.
Well, friends, happy Saturday. The weekend is here, and it was a chilly one for the basin. Today, West Texans were definitely able to enjoy 41-degree temperatures. Usually around this time in January, West Texans are definitely used to 59-degree temperatures. Taking a look at our lows, we did come in short for that as well. 23 degrees for our lows, when usually we're definitely used to 33-degree temperatures. Not as cold as her back in 1966, when we were only sitting at 2 degrees. I'll have more of this weekend's chilly forecast later on the show. Back over to you guys.
President Biden meets with his national security team as the U.S. negotiates for a diplomatic solution as tension continues to escalate between Russia and Ukraine.
Here's ABC's White House correspondent Mary Alice Parks with more.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov met for 90 minutes in Geneva on Friday to negotiate. The U.S. hoping to lower the temperature and convince Russia to de-escalate the situation on Ukraine's border.
We read as well that further diplomatic discussions would be the preferable way forward. But again, it is really up to Russia to decide which path it will pursue.
Russia still demanding a guarantee from the U.S. that Ukraine will never be allowed to join NATO, saying after the talks in Geneva that ignoring their concerns will, quote, have the most serious consequences. But the Russians did suggest that they would be open to meeting next month. In an effort to keep the talks going, the White House agreeing to respond to Russia in writing.
We've been very clear about what we are not negotiating on, which is the sovereignty of Ukraine, which is this question that is continuously raised about Ukraine's right to pursue joining NATO. But negotiating takes many forms.
Russia has repeatedly denied that it has plans to invade Ukraine, but the situation on the ground as tense as ever. An estimated 100,000 Russian troops stationed along Ukraine's border.
If in fact they commit another incursion into Ukrainian territory, they're just going to set themselves up for even more isolation from the rest of the international community. This is not a country that has a whole lot of friends.
The White House has said any Russian military aggression towards Ukraine will be met with a swift and severe response. But some Republicans believe President Biden should not wait.
He should send U.S. forces to shore up NATO's eastern flank now, before it's too late.
And now a new shipment of U.S. military aid arriving Friday in Kiev. The $200 million package including about 200,000 pounds of lethal aid-like ammunition. Mary Alice Parks, ABC News, Washington.
Across Texas tonight, thousands of people marched to the Capitol for the annual Rally for Life event. It was in protest of the 1973 Supreme Court decision, and that decision called for a rollback of abortion rights, which is something they tell us feels closer than ever before.
Everybody here has been praying for this, working towards this, believing for this for a very long time. And so this year we're here with just a different expectancy, even more hope than we typically have. This year it's a whole nother level.
Now, organizers tell us tonight this rally normally attracts between 5,000 to 7,000 people. And tonight in Dallas, police are on the search to find a missing 11-year-old boy.
The Dallas Police Department says the missing situation is now being upgraded to a critical case because of the freezing temperatures. On Thursday around midnight, Trayvon Michael Allen Griffin went missing. He was last seen in southwest of Dallas. Police say he might be confused and in need of assistance and is asking the public to help to find him. A playful day for a girl with her big sister turned into a nightmare. One 11-year-old got stuck in a drain.
Our Scott Word spoke with the child and her sister about what exactly happened.
But there are snakes. Police and firefighters raced to the Stovall family's home in Southlake on Wednesday. How'd you get down there? Inside that storm drain, 11-year-old Tori was trapped.
I made it to the center.
It all started when her 13-year-old sister Carly had an idea.
Just being stupid.
Let's play in the tunnel.
If she was gonna do it, I thought I might as well do it.
So Tori went first, only to find out she wasn't alone in there.
And she looks up and there's this snake in the ceiling.
A big one.
I thought that I could just go out the other tunnel since there are two ways out. And I was like, okay, well, can you try to go the other way?
It turns out there was a problem with that, too.
And immediately saw another snake.
Snakes in both directions, with Tori stuck in the middle. What to do? Carly got Mom, who quickly evaluated the situation and called for help.
They got here really, really fast.
Firefighters and police sprung into action just as fast.
We just needed a few big, strong, heroes, and they just flipped that thing right open and yanked it right out.
Felt like heroes. Made it look easy.
I'm just glad I'm still not under there near a snake.
I'm not impressed that they made the decision to go wander in there, but, I'm proud of them for problem solving.
For two young sisters, the lesson of a lifetime.
No, I will not go under there again.
For first responders, on to the next call after a happy ending.
Have a good one. To stay up to date with more news across Texas and other top stories, just head to our website, yourbasin.com.
A text message for a rideshare costs a Florida man some money. How to protect yourself from text scams.
And well, friends, the sun did not come out to play today, and temperatures sat cool for this time in January. Will tomorrow be chilly too? I'll have the answer after the break.
We got an NFL playoff highlights. Find out how one Basin product fared in his playoff opener.
And what happens if you've been exposed to COVID-19? Well, tonight, a new device can help you detect just that. We'll tell you more right after the break. Stay with us.
I just had a friend direct message me and say, how can you work in media? It's so negative. There's so much bad news. And I messaged her back and said, there's always more good news than bad. And I think that at News Nation, we have the opportunity to show more positivity.
As a veteran, I cannot hear the national anthem and not get it.
That's not a bias. That's being American. When you have something like Morning in America to wake up to, you can guarantee that you're not only going to leave more informed, but you're going to leave more inspired.
Weekday mornings on News Nation.
COVID is surging. Hospitals are full. People are really sick. Get tested. Get vaccinated. Get boosted. Please help our healthcare workers. VaccineNM.org.
A fresh start begins with fresh choices, like choosing to save more with Suddenlink. Get reliable, high-speed, 1 gig internet for just $49.99 a month. With it, you'll get a $200 Visa prepaid card, HBO Max included on us for 1 year, and a free Suddenlink stream with your favorite shows and streaming apps all in one device. Choose to start fresh by saving more on our fastest speed. Plus, as part of optimum flexibility from Suddenlink, there are no contracts or hidden fees. And unlock even more value when you combine with Optimum Mobile. Visit suddenlink.com today.
Think premium can't be capable? Think again. Introducing the first ever AT4 lineup. Premium and capable. That's professional grade from GMC. Step up to GMC with 0% financing on these GMC models. Visit your Permian Basin GMC dealer.
We're checking out. We'll miss you. How was your stay?
We travel all over, and this hotel is our favorite. We love the free breakfast buffet in the mornings and the omelet station.
My favorite thing is the super fast Wi-Fi in the room. I can get my work done and plug my PS4 into that huge 50-inch TV and game all night.
This is the best sleep I've ever had on the most comfortable bed. And I love the Starbucks coffee and the Bath & Body Works soaps in the room.
We'll see you again soon.
The MCM Grande Hotel and Fun Dome, Odessa. COVID is surging. Hospitals are full. People are really sick. Get tested. Get vaccinated. Get boosted. Please help our healthcare workers. VaccineNM.org. Get ready for your day with meteorologist Ryan DePhillips. We're your weather authority. We warn you first.
Well, friends, a happy Saturday. And today was a very chilly Saturday for the Basin. Today, West Texas, especially the Midland and Odessa area, was able to enjoy only 41-degree temperatures. Usually around this time in January, we're definitely used to, 58-degree temperatures. But today, not as cool as how we were back in the 1950s when we were sitting at a nice and warm 83 degrees. Taking a look at our lows, we did come in pretty short for that as well. Today, we only reached all the way up to 23 degrees for our lows. Usually around this time in January, we're definitely used to 33-degree temperatures. Even though today was cold, it wasn't as cold as how it was back in 1966 when we were only sitting at a mere 2 degrees. So we'll take the 41-degree temperature high for today compared to back in that 1966 sitting at only 2 degrees. But for the remainder of the basin, everyone pretty much in the 40s, minus Presidio where they're always nice and hot. Today they sat at 57 degrees, but there were some areas that were in their 30s, such as the Guadalupe Pass and in Hobbs, sitting at 39 degrees. But for the most part, Midland and Odessa area sitting at 41 degrees, Big Spring 47, Seminole 42 degrees. So like I said, everyone in the Permian Basin area pretty much in their 40s, minus Presidio where they're always nice and hot. Taking a look at the temperature change, even though it was cold, you guys, this same time yesterday, we're actually 6 degrees warmer in Midland and Odessa, along with Big Spring. We have Seminole sitting at 7 degrees warmer. Presidio, where they were sitting at 57 degrees, actually 4 degrees cooler than normal. Guadalupe Pass, 8 degrees cooler than they were this same time yesterday. So for the most part, everyone pretty chilly. Today, the sun did not come out at all, covered by the clouds, and the stars are not going to come out at all, covered by the clouds. We will see a nice and steamy and maybe cool for some people, 36 degrees, very cold, but also very cloudy. Speaking of the clouds, I know we're excited for the sun to come out, but unfortunately, the sun is not going to come out anytime soon. Right now, we're going to continue to see that cloud cover, and as we continue into our Sunday by 4 a.m., we're still going to see that cloud cover in the Permian Basin area, except for in Marfa. They are going to get a little bit of that sun. We're going to continue on with our Sunday, and then by the time we get into the afternoon, around 2 p.m., that's when we do see some of that cloud cover disappearing from the basin. So some areas in Midland and Odessa area will be able to see some of the sun. So definitely not too bad whatsoever. As we make our way into Sunday, we love a good day planner. So we're going to start the day pretty cool at 33 degrees. By noon, we'll be sitting at a cloudy 43, increasing only 3 degrees to 46 by 4 p.m. And then we cool on down to 39 degrees for a very cloudy evening, pretty similar to today's. Definitely not too bad whatsoever. Now that 7-day forecast is going to show that we will be waking up very chilly, sitting at 33 degrees, but we will be able to enjoy a chilly 47 degrees. That 7-day forecast does show that we're going to have some cloud cover throughout, except for Tuesday, and then Saturday we'll be sitting in our 60s, 67 this same time next week. Super exciting. All we have to, endure is that 47 degrees for tomorrow. Definitely not too bad, Rob and Stephanie, at all.
I'm just happy we're a little bit out of those 20 degrees because I was suffering not being used to this cold.
Girl, I'm from Ohio. I'm cool with it.
Those gray skies made for a moody day today, but I'm looking forward to the sun on Tuesday. So thank you, Bridget.
You and me both.
All right, thank you. Well, medical experts say tonight COVID-19 cases are rising with the Omicron variant. Now hospitals are talking about whether the booster shot is necessary.
Our Karina Mitchell has talked to health professionals about the latest on the vaccine.
As the Omicron variant continues to spread across the country, the CDC is once again making the case for boosters. A CDC study finds that 2 vaccine doses were 57% effective against hospitalizations 6 months later, but a 3rd shot boosted protection back to 90%.
Protection against infection and hospitalization with the Omicron variant is highest for those who are up to date with their vaccination, meaning those who are boosted when they are eligible.
The evidence comes as the Omicron variant surges in parts of the country while peaking in some cities. Dr. Anthony Fauci giving a best and worst case scenario for the next 6 months. The best case, COVID comes under control. The worst, another variant pops up.
We have to be prepared for it. So we hope for the best and prepare for the worst.
For now, hospitals across the country are buckling under the crush of patients.
Currently, we're seeing an overwhelming number of patients presenting to the emergency department with COVID-like symptoms, and it's just beyond our capacity to be able to care for all these patients.
Meantime, the Biden administration says it will appeal a federal judge's ruling striking down a vaccine mandate for federal workers. And the Biden administration says the free N95 masks from the federal government will be available at pharmacies and local community health centers in the coming days. The government's free at-home COVID tests have also started to ship. And a separate effort in Santa Clara County, California, where 60,000 at-home antigen COVID tests are set to be given out for free starting today.
At-home testing is another tool in our toolbox to help us fight the ongoing surge.
Karina Mitchell, ABC News, New York.
Yale University has developed a wearable device that can be the future of detecting the virus. The clip can detect whether you have been exposed to COVID-19. It was originally developed a few years ago to measure pollutant in the air. And when the pandemic started, the creators realized it had another use.
This, if it's deployed among different settings, can ideally ultimately lead to a conclusion as to specific settings which might be higher risk settings.
Developers conducted a study of people wearing the clip in healthcare centers, homeless shelters, and restaurants. 62 of the fresh air clips were returned. 5 came back positive, and they were mostly from restaurant workers. The researchers are still studying the clip. They hope to maybe make it available to the public.
And now to sports with Avi Carr-gloth. Avi, a former quarterback here in West Texas, had a lot on the line today. Tell us about that.
Yeah, Rob, well, football season has been over here in West Texas for quite a while, but not for a certain local product. Former Big Spring Steer Ryan Tannehill quarterbacked his Tennessee Titans to home field advantage in the AFC. After getting the wild card round off, the Titans were at home hosting the Cincinnati Bengals with a spot in the AFC Championship game on the line. Let's take you out to Nissan Stadium in Nashville, and the big story, of course, being Derrick Henry activated from the injured reserve with a foot injury, taking on Joe Burrow late in the first quarter. Bengals are up 3. Burrow with a quick throw to Jamar Chase. Chase turning on the Jets. Look at him go. That rookie hitting another gear. That's a 57-yard pickup. And the Bengals, they would settle for a field goal, though. Cincinnati up 6-0. Second quarter, in the Wildcat, Derrick Henry, he'll take the snap, and he'll take it into the end zone. A 3-yard touchdown. King Henry's back. 9-6, Titans down at the half, though. Third quarter, same score. Joe Mixon high stepping his way into pay dirt. That's a 16-yard score. Bengals would go up 10. Late in the third, Titans trail 16-9. Burrow, his pass is going to be deflected off of Samaje Perine's hands, and he's going to get picked off. That's Amani Hooker. Great pick right there. It appeared to graze the ground, but the play was reviewed and confirmed. So Titans, they're sitting pretty, still down a touchdown. That ensuing Titans drive. Tannehill lofts one up to A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown, he owes Tannehill 10 cents because he threw him a dime. A one-handed 28-yard touchdown play. Brown with a ridiculous grab. He finished with 142 yards and a score. That tied the game at 16. Under a minute left. Same score. Tannehill is going to get picked off again. That's Logan Wilson, his third interception of the game. And then that would set up with 4 seconds left. Evan McPherson, a 52-yard field goal is good. The Bengals are going to the AFC Championship game for the first time since '88. Wow. Well, to college hoops, Texas Tech rolling in this one, taking on West Virginia. Bryson Williams to Kevin O'Banner with a nice lay-in. Tech would go up 2. Taz Sherman, though, for West Virginia, the Mountaineers, you'd find his groove. Over 2 minutes to go. Sherman, yes, sir, from the corner, drilling the triple. Moments later, Sherman, step back, knocks down the deep 2. Sherman had 13 points in that first half. Tech up 2, though, at the break. Second half, a 3-point game. Polycap gets the ball in the lane. Nice dribble and dunk in the lane. West Virginia only down 1, but later in the second half, Terrence Shannon Jr. takes over, drives to the lane, gets the bucket, and 1. 3-point play, and then Shannon Jr. from the wing, wide open. You can't let that happen. Draining a deep 3. Tech up 6, just over a minute to go with the Red Raiders up 8. Kevin McCullough the steal, and Shannon with the exclamation point. He finished with 23 points. Tech would win 78-65. But right as we were coming on air, Rob, your San Francisco 49ers knocked off the Green Bay Packers with a 13-10 win, so they're going to the NFC Championship game. Back-to-back game-winning field goals in the NFL. That should be it. That's a great one.
Look, Avi, my heart's been rushing all day for the past, I don't know, say about 2-3 hours. A lot was on the line. And seeing almost my namesake, Robbie Gould, doing what he does best for all you 49er fans here in West Texas. But again, we know that Aaron Rodgers probably hates 49ers a lot more than he did right after draft day.
Well, congrats, Rob.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, Avi. And coming up tonight, wine and beer lovers should be worried how supply chain issues are affecting distributors. We explain that coming up after the break.
At USAA, we've been called too exclusive because we were created for officers. But as we've evolved with the military, we've grown to serve all who've honorably served, no matter their rank or when they were in. A Marine just out of boot camp or a petty officer from 73, and even his kids and their kids. USAA is made for all who honorably serve and their eligible family members. Are we still exclusive? Absolutely. And that's exactly why you should join.
Join us at Johnny Carino's for our 5 for $15 top sirloin steak and shrimp scampi meal deal. Enjoy our Italian nachos appetizer, juicy char-grilled top sirloin steak, savory shrimp scampi sautéed in a white wine lemon butter sauce, your choice of pasta, a refreshing beverage, and our fresh baked bread for only $15.
Famous Dave's Barbecue, now open for to-go. Enjoy a $5 brisket sandwich piled high with smoky Texas beef brisket. Order now at famousdaves.com.
Step into the new when you drive a Chevy. It's time for a fresh approach and a new perspective. Meet new friends or reconnect with some old ones and find the Chevy that's right for you. Find new experiences, find new roads. Step into the new with a new Chevy. Very well qualified buyers can get 0% financing on most Chevy vehicles. Plus, current competitive owners get an additional $750 bonus cash. Chevy drives Texas. Find new roads.
Aleve X. It's fast, powerful, long-lasting relief with a revolutionary rollerball design. Because with the right pain reliever, life opens up. Aleve it and see what's possible. Next wheel.
I hear you've been hanging out with my daughter.
Maggie came by my dressing room and I gave her a little glimpse of how I get ready for each show.
Find out how you can get the VIP access too.
Watch Good Morning Basin from 5 to 7 on ABC Big 2.
A warning for rideshare users. A Florida man says he was a victim in a confusing two-factor authorization scam that he ended up costing him $200.
ABC's Becky Worley has the story and more on how to protect yourself from this ever happening to you.
Two-factor authentication is when you receive a text or email code to gain access to your account. It's a way of protecting you, but one man who thought he was doing the right thing warns it could end up really costing you. James Carvalho was headed to the Miami airport, waiting for an Uber that he'd just ordered.
I always say I will never fall for it. Of course, I'm running last minute to the airport. I'm trying to get there. I just want the car to get there.
But then he told affiliate station WPLG about how he got a text message with a 4-digit security code from Uber, and then another message from his driver through the app.
There's a message saying, I need your security code, your 4-digit code. Thinking Uber instilled a new security feature, I sent them the 4-digit code.
He said within minutes he was locked out of his account, the scammer using the texted code to change his password and his recovery email address, then giving the driver a $200 tip on a $6 ride Carvalho never even took.
Many of us are using two-factor authentication, and the cyber criminals and fraudsters know that. And so they try to trick you into giving up the two-factor authentication code.
Carvalho has refunded the unauthorized charges, and Uber tells ABC News they've seen this type of scam before, but they are further investigating this incident, saying these types of scams are likely the result of a driver account being compromised. Our teams look into each instance and take appropriate action, adding Uber would never call or text or ask someone to give out their personal information.
As soon as the company or the individual of the company asks you to step outside that software platform, that means that transaction, that interaction cannot be tracked. That is usually a red flag that a scam is ready to unfold.
Security experts say if you receive a code via text, you should never message it to someone else. Yes, you will enter it into an authentication form or a password progression in an app or on a website, but never message it back out again. And probably the most important thing we all need to do is slow down and be skeptical in this situation. To ask, what's the worst thing that happens if you don't immediately respond to something, especially if it seems a little off? Wait, research, and when in doubt, don't give information out.
There is some new concern tonight over alcohol production. There's a reported shortage of glass and wine bottles and aluminum cans. That's raising the price of wine and craft beers, and it's causing some store owners to question if that will impact their sales. We'll be right back.
ABC Big 2 Sports, brought to you by Glasheen Valles and Enderman Injury Lawyers.
Has anyone ever taken a rose back before?
Play.
She is not here for Clayton.
Don't.
I have a rose.
Play.
What's he gonna do?
The Bachelor. New Monday on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Think premium can't be capable? Think again. Introducing the first ever AT4 lineup. Premium and capable. That's professional grade from GMC. Step up to GMC with 0% financing on these GMC models. Visit your Permian Basin GMC dealer.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, CEO of MyPillow. Cancel culture has not only affected myself and MyPillow, but also millions of you out there. My employees and I want to personally thank each and every one of you for all your support. At MyPillow, we have hundreds of products now, including my new slippers, bathrobes, sleepwear, and my new beds. We are offering the best products ever for the best prices ever. For example, we have the standard size MyPillows, regularly $69.98, now only $19.98 with your promo code. Or you can get custom fit with my premium queen size MyPillows, regularly $79.98, now just $29.98. Or my king size, regularly $89.98, now just $34.98. So go to mypillow.com now and use the promo code on your screen or call the 1-800 number below to receive these exclusive offers. Thank you and God bless.
We're your local weather authority. We warn you first. Our team is working around the clock to keep you and your family safe. What you need to know on ABC Big 2 News.
Early this morning, Community Worship Center took up one after the many miracles called feeding the 5,000 when Jesus fed people with just 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. They call it Operation 500, where they fed 500 people in Midland. That's all and this is the second year that the Community Worship Center was able to get out 500 free breakfast meals, free clothes, and prayers. The church will be celebrating their 9th year anniversary tomorrow. We'll be right back.
Why hide your skin if Dupixent has your moderate to severe eczema or atopic dermatitis under control?
Hide our skin, not us.
Because Dupixent targets a root cause of eczema, it helps heal your skin from within, keeping you one step ahead of it. And for kids ages 6 and up, that means clearer skin and noticeably less itch.
Hide my skin, not me.
By helping to control eczema with Dupixent, you can change how their skin looks and feels. And that's the kind of change you notice.
Hide my skin, not me.
Don't use if you're allergic to Dupixent. Serious allergic reactions can occur, including anaphylaxis, which is severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, or a parasitic infection. If you take asthma medicines, don't change or stop them without talking to your doctor. When you help heal your skin from within, you can show more with less eczema. Talk to your child's eczema specialist about Dupixent, a breakthrough eczema treatment.
You want to feel important, to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things.
We know. We felt that way too.
And that's why we joined the Army National Guard. Take on your legacy.
Visit nationalguard.com to find out more.
At USAA, we've been called too exclusive because we were created for officers. But as we've evolved with the military, we've grown to serve all who've honorably served, no matter their rank or when they were in. A Marine just out of boot camp, or a petty officer from 73, and even his kids and their kids. USAA is made for all who honorably served and their eligible family members. Are we still exclusive? Absolutely. And that's exactly why you should join.
Last week,
she won 5 consecutive runaway games.
Now, these
challengers are ready to face 38-game champ Amy Schneider.
Let's see how long it'll go, folks.
On Jeopardy!
All the time we have for news tonight.
Thank you so much for joining us. See you tomorrow.